Solar power sometimes seems a little too good to be true. It's clean, it's super renewable, and it can be stored or even fed back into the energy grid. If my mom taught me anything, though, it's that if something's too good to be true, it probably is. Solar power makes up less than 3% of the United States energy, and one of the biggest reasons behind this is its accessibility. It has a really high upfront cost, which scares off a lot of individuals as well as companies from investing in it. It also requires a ton of land area, and there's a lot of regulations and loops you have to go through in order to attain solar. I chose to speak to Brad Van Wert, who is the owner and founder of Harvest Solar, a local Bozeman-based solar company that is hoping to educate and empower people to take ownership of their energy, as well as to place solar power within their reach.
Just as far as who I am, owner, operator, Harvest Solar with my partner Kyle McVean. But I'm also the vice president of the Montana Renewable Energy Association and the chair of the policy committee. And we do quite a bit of work, and I'm proud of that work. And there's a lot more hard work to come, but yeah, that's something that's very important and close to me.
So, how did you get into the field, and what really inspired you to start your own company?
I kind of fell into solar almost accidentally. However, I suspect that it was the course I was supposed to be on for some time. I was in between jobs, if you were, and I had some experience from a younger version of myself as a roofer. So a friend of mine who was working at a solar company said, "Hey, we need some help, and you're comfortable on roofs. Will you come help us on this project?" I put my hands on a solar panel, and I said, "This is it. This is where everything's going. I'm doing this." That was in 2009, so I dove in as an installer, started learning in the field, started trainings and absorbing as much as I can. And then in 2012, my partner and I decided that we wanted to provide an experience for clients, and we understood the value of education because nobody understands electricity, and then solar even more so. And we wanted to take the information that we had and try to bring it down to earth in a way that people could kind of digest and understand. It's really happening now, and it's funny because those of us who have been in the industry for a while have kind of been sitting here twiddling our thumbs saying, "Hey, you guys need to capitalize our industry so that we can throw some gas on this fire." We were somewhat forgotten for a little too long.
What do you think are some of the cons, or what are your least favorite parts about your job?
Well, to the point of kind of being behind the ball, if you will, and the fact that the world at large has this romantic idea of a renewable energy future, and it's beautiful and it's brilliant and it's amazing, but our order of operations are off. And there's other steps that need to be taken, and major grid upgrades have to happen substantially and quickly. If our computers and our lights and our smart homes are Teslas, the United States electric grid is a 1937 Model T Ford. It's antiquated and it's in need of some serious attention so that we can have the renewable energy future that we need and we imagine.
So, is Harvest Solar doing anything to make solar energy a little bit more accessible?
And we try to educate, and we try to educate in a way that hopefully is palatable because, again, nobody understands electricity. And that's what's captured my attention and kept it for the better part of the last 12 years. So we need to be able to take all of this heady information and try to bring it down to earth so that people can understand it, so people can achieve their goals.
From it.
Well, the biggest thing is that I hope that people can start to understand how they use electricity more. We were all born into this ubiquitous source of light that we can walk into any room and flip a switch. And therefore, we use it without very conscious intentions. Now, it's important and it's beautiful and it's amazing and it's the pillar of everything that we do. But we need to understand how we consume it and when we consume it and to what value. Especially as we electrify transportation, We have to understand how those electrons, first off, are generated, but also the volume that we use and when we use it, and we need to tune into that more. We need to have a better relationship with electricity if we are going to make it an even more integral part of our lives. I think that it's normalized over the last 18 to 24 months, and by that I mean no longer are people curious whether it works. They're more just wondering if they can afford it or wondering how they can help support policies or directions or companies that are helping to truly transition us to renewable energy.
However hopeful Brad was about the future of solar power, he also made sure to emphasize that we need to do a better job of understanding our electricity use and electricity in general. If we want any chance at a future that's powered by clean energy, we need to start by using less energy. This will make it easier to implement renewable infrastructure, and in the meantime, it'll reduce the amount of carbon that we're putting into the atmosphere, which is the win-win situation. Diversifying our energy sources when it comes to renewable energy is also extremely important because the costs, regulations, and land area required for solar power are unrealistic for it becoming our sole source of energy. And though no option is perfect, incorporating solar power, wind power, hydropower, and nuclear energy may be the only way for us to steer away from fossil fuel use for good. So to the class of 2050, if we're not already 100% on clean energy, that needs to be the number one goal. Even as of right now, we have the science and the technology to make it happen. We're just lacking the leadership and the willpower.